On today's video, we're going to talk about the top 10 worst cities for road rage. Road rage is a trivial thing. At what point are you road raging? At what time do you draw the line between just being defensive and road raging? Very trivial, very much up to opinions. So on my travels across the United States, these are the 10 cities that I noticed where drivers are the absolute most ignorant and the most aggressive. Interestingly, a lot of people say New York and New Jersey have the worst drivers. But I noticed, considering the volume of cars that there are, how aggravating these situations actually are. And that I feel like many times in New York City and New Jersey, these people are just trying to get somewhere. So a guy blowing a red light, that's not exactly road raging. The guy just says he needs to get somewhere. So I don't really agree that New York City needs to be on this list because of the driving that I saw there. It didn't seem aggressive to me. It just seemed purposeful. Number 1 is Los Angeles, California. This is where I've seen some of the most crazy and just adrenaline-filled, aggressive, just wild drivers anywhere. What could contribute to that is perhaps how long the commutes are here, how many gang territories there are where some people may just have to get through a neighborhood very quickly for their safety, and also the fact that Los Angeles traffic, the whole entire city comes to a standstill. I can definitely imagine that living in just a densely populated place with just long commutes is aggravating, and people can just snap and absolutely lose their minds, or if they're having a bad day, that's how they're going to show it. Other people apparently just have something going on at the moment and they just need to get from one area to the next immediately, and they'll drive in the wrong direction. Absolutely terrifying. There's people here that maybe they're driving a stolen car and they just don't care. Los Angeles driving is scary. Number 2 is Miami, Florida. Here's a city where people are rude and belligerent just to make a point out of it. People here needlessly go out of their way to be offensive, rude. I remember one time I was in Miami and I was coming from Alabama. And in Alabama, you carry everywhere you go. So I had a lot of stuff on me. Not sure if the laws in Florida even allowed me to have the stuff I had on me. And I had this BMW that was honking the horn and getting aggressive behind me. And I just thought to myself, if I was having a bad day, this guy in this blue BMW would have had to crap himself if I pulled out the thing that I had in my back seat. In the state of Florida, doing that is a huge crime, but in other states you're allowed to do it. And I just feel like the laws in Florida, while they do make Florida a very safe place, it means that people like that who are complete jerks can go unchecked endlessly until they run to somebody from another state who doesn't know the laws. Number 3 is Tucson, Arizona. This has to be the most ignorant people I've ever run into. For some reason, they will not let you merge. It's like changing lanes is a sin for these people. And while I drove here, I found that these were just some of the most ignorant drivers, and that no matter what you were trying to do, they would not let you merge lanes. The city doesn't have that much traffic. There's no real reason for anybody here to have that much of an important thing going on to where they can't let nobody merge. You can't really tell in this video because it's all happening behind me, but they just weren't letting me merge. And if you try to speed up, they speed up. If you slow down, they slow down. Here, I just literally stopped in traffic until I said eventually somebody's going to let me merge. And I just did that because nobody was letting me merge. Not sure why people in Tucson, Arizona do that, but definitely their drivers really suck. And this truck drove off who knows what, right? Number 4, Atlanta, Georgia. Road rage here is a real serious concern, and people here can be ultra violent in traffic. For the most part, people are just getting somewhere, but you're going to find that in Atlanta, you have to be very careful. Make sure that you're driving safely and that you're not making anybody angry, because people in Atlanta, for some reason, are just hyper aggressive, willing to get out of their cars and just escalate things needlessly. For the most part, traffic in the city flows and people just try to get where they're going. But always be careful in Atlanta that you don't cut somebody off, or that you don't really box yourself in while making somebody angry, because they just flip a switch instantly and go from driving to like very aggressive. I've seen it happen in Atlanta to other people where they did a small thing and somebody just totally flipped out on them. People in Atlanta just go through their day as angry as they possibly can. Moving on to number 4, Orlando, Florida. Here's an interesting scenario. You have people who are on vacation from other states, and there's as many come basuras, as we like to say in Spanish. These are just complete idiots, as there are aggressive drivers. But the amount of dumb drivers just contributes to more close calls, which inevitably end up turning into road rage incidents. I like to never confront people in these situations. I don't know if they're sober or not. I don't know if they're having a bad day. I'm never going to start an argument with somebody I don't know. I got a wife at home to argue with. I don't need to argue with complete strangers. But you'll see in this video, it's just in this one drive through Orlando, we encountered some of the just worst drivers, possibly not sober, possibly entertained. Whatever the situation, these types of dumb drivers you have in Orlando just run into angry people, and Orlando's another city where there's a lot of road rage, so please be careful. Number 6, Anderson, Indiana. I couldn't believe that just a small town in an area of the country, the Midwest, which is known for having the friendliest people on earth, would have a town with so many angry people. The issue here was people would get right behind you and they would try to rush you. And if you had to stop at a red light or stop for a pedestrian or slow down for a pedestrian, they'd ride right up against you. So as you're watching this video, you can't really tell what's going on in the background. And then this vehicle just flew inches from me just to prove the point. This town's losing population. Like every bad statistic that exists about Indiana is happening here. I think Nick Johnson said it was the second worst city in Indiana. So there's just a very negative vibe in Anderson, Indiana. And you can tell by the way people drive that they're just miserable and angry at the world. And like here you can see this car got really angry and passed me really fast because I stopped for a pedestrian. Just rude snobs. Number 7, Charlotte, North Carolina. This city is so strange and angry. As you can see here, that happened because they just weren't... Everybody just breaks the law. They blow stop signs. They don't respect any type of signal. The people are really aggressive. And not only are you getting road rage by people driving, but if anybody like just in the sideline sees you, like saw my camera or something, they would come out and attack you. It seems like a really on-edge, angry city. Even here, like in most cities, most people would get out and see if they were okay. I was the only one who did it. Everybody else just kind of drove around them like it's a normal thing for two cars to smash in front of each other like that. It just seems like a very aggressive place where people are very rude and snobby. And the whole time I've been in Charlotte, I've noticed that the people are just very... there's no real nice word for it, but they're just snobs and jerks while driving. Definitely a crappy city for road raging. Moving on to number 8, Fort Myers, Florida. I know what you're thinking. Oh, you're just saying that because you live there. I'm telling you, Miami is on the other coast, and Fort Myers is on like not far away. And let me tell you, the drivers in Fort Myers are absolutely some of the biggest jerks you are ever going to meet. In the morning, they're speeding, they're road raging. There's roads that are posted 35, and if you're going 65, you'll have people trying to force you off the road for going that speed. Whether it's Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Lehigh, the whole Fort Myers area, you just have some of the most retardedly aggressive drivers, just nasty people in the Fort Myers area behind the wheel. And again, you might think I'm just saying that because I'm from there, but like I would love to see you other people comment, and they'll tell you, like I've had people come from New York City and tell me, I can't believe how aggressive people are in the Fort Myers area. So if you don't believe me, support me with comments on this one, because a lot of people are just going to say I'm saying that because I'm from that area. It really is true. Moving on to number 9, New Orleans, Louisiana. Not only is New Orleans road raging and aggressive, it can turn really dangerous really quick. Remember the first time I went to New Orleans, I saw somebody else getting road rage by somebody, and they were the absolute most dangerous looking people you could imagine. Absolutely no fear for losing their... Just horrible, scary situations. New Orleans in general is a very dangerous city, and while the vast majority of traffic is smooth and quiet, and it doesn't look like anything's bad going to happen, but if anybody does try to road rage you in New Orleans, just know that the potential for violence in this state, in this city in particular, is extreme. And while if you're just minding your business as a tourist, you'll be okay, But the moment you have a confrontation with somebody, the potential for violence is really bad, so be very careful. Number 10, Naples, Florida. And again, you're going to think it's because I'm from there that I'm saying this. I've gone to New York City, I've gone to Los Angeles, San Francisco, Denver, all these large cities. Even other people that are from those places that moved to Naples will tell you they have never in their life encountered the types of come basuras that you're going to encounter in the Naples area. And if you watch the news, there's always articles about people in Naples doing absolutely retarded stuff in traffic. For some reason, South Florida just attracts these types of toilet paper wipes. The vast majority are very wealthy, entitled people who've lived in very sheltered places their entire lives and have no idea the propensity of violence that somebody else could display on them if they're having a bad day. So while they're in some type of la land where they think it's okay to step and overthrow people and be rude to people, one day they're going to meet the wrong person. There it is. Those are the top 10 most road raging cities that I have found driving across America. You guys might think I'm kidding or I'm exaggerating for Southwest Florida. I'm really not. People really do drive like idiots down there, more than LA and New York City.